Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel. This is my review for Strange World, which is the 61st animated feature from Walt Disney Animation. The movie follows a farmer named Searcher Quaid, voiced by Jake Gyllenhaal. He is the son of this legendary explorer, Yeager Quaid, who's voiced by Dennis Quaid. Yeager wanted his son to be an explorer just like him, but it wasn't really in Searcher's interest, so the two of them had a falling out. Which I'm not sure if that's the sole reason. If you name your son Searcher, I think there's gonna be some resentment from him towards you. So, something to think about right there. Anyway, life is just great for Searcher. He's wealthy, he's got a really loving wife, a son that he adores, a three-legged dog. Everything seems to be working out very well. However, there's a crisis that happens involving the crops that he's been farming throughout his whole life that require him to be a specific adventurer. Basically, this movie ends up taking our characters on an adventure to this strange new world right underneath where they live. Last year, I reviewed every Disney animated feature that I have yet to review, including their two new releases, Raya the Last Dragon and their 60th feature, Encanto. It was a pretty great movie for it to be the company's 60th animated film, so going into this one with the trailer that came out, I was intrigued. It looked really cool, it looked very imaginative, and I like how it seemed to be paying homage to these adventure movies from the 30s, 40s, and even 50s. In fact, that trailer even featured a voiceover that was very reminiscent to how trailers were back in those days. Welcome to Strange World, the latest animated feature from Walt Disney Pictures. So that trailer really impressed me, and I was interested to see the movie. And then afterwards, not a peep. There was no marketing leading into this movie. I don't even think they released a second trailer. However, considering the statement Bob Chapek made about Disney animated films during his very short reign of terror as Disney CEO, it doesn't surprise me that this movie was kind of kicked to the curb. And the thing is, it's not that bad of a movie. And I say it's not that bad, but if I'm gonna be totally honest, the movie itself as a whole, disregarding the shit marketing, it's just okay. That first trailer definitely promises a very interesting world that these characters explore. There's certainly a lot of creativity from the design department, but the overall story and characters don't really leave an impression on me. You got some recognizable people voicing these characters, like Jake Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid, Gabrielle Union, and Lucy Liu, but none of the characters are that compelling. And also, I'm not a fan of the designs of these characters. With the exception of Lucy Liu's character, they all have a different design to them. When I watched the entirety of the Disney animation canon last year and we got to Tangled, I looked at that movie and realized that the reason Disney had finally perfected their CG animated films was because they took the look of the characters from the Disney Renaissance and just made them 3D. And that's pretty much what the characters have been from Tangled all the way to Encanto. This time around, in terms of character design, they seem to be more inspired by the way Disney animated characters looked back in the wartime era. And in a way, that kind of works, considering that this is supposed to be a throwback movie to the old school science fiction films of the 30s, 40s, and 50s. But the way these characters move is just a little too rubbery. They seem far too invincible, even though, I mean, they're cartoons, so of course they're going to be invincible in more ways than one. But it just felt a little too much for me. I just wasn't digging the way the characters looked. And like I mentioned before, the writing on them is not that strong. The movie does attempt to have a theme about father and son relationships, how a father's push for their son to be like them might distance them, or how a father might want to be too invested in their son's lives to the point where they also might want to push him out of the way. So there definitely was some sort of attempt to make this movie for father and sons what Brave was for mothers and daughters. But again, the characters I don't think are particularly interesting, and sometimes they got pretty obnoxious. Case in point is Searcher's son Ethan. At the beginning of the movie, he doesn't want to be like his father and wants to be more of an explorer, so he practically ignores all the advice that his father's giving him. It's just, I don't know, the beginning of this movie I found the character to be pretty obnoxious. Later down the line he got a little better, and when his father starts to trust him a little more. But first time around I wasn't really into this character. Although props to Disney for actually making a gay character where yeah, this character, without any question, is gay. It's not like LeFou in the live-action Beauty and the Beast or other attempts where they say, this is our first gay character, but we can't actually say it. I just wish at the end of the day this character was a little smarter and more well-written. There is an obligatory cute character in this movie, or one that doesn't speak with any dialogue. In this case, it's a weird alien-looking creature named Splat, and they give this character a lot of personality. In fact, more personality than the actual characters who have speaking roles. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's a testament to how inspired these Disney animators can be. Much like with the flying carpet from Aladdin, they give this character without a face so much personality. Honestly, I don't have much else to say about this movie. It is creative in terms of its design. There's a lot of unique creatures. The world itself is pretty cool, even if we don't get a whole lot of time to spend in it. And throughout most of the movie, I thought, okay, this isn't the best thing in the world, but I'm gonna say it's good, but it's not great. And I had that mindset for a while until we got to the third act. The third act has a twist that comes literally out of nowhere. It's a twist that was never established beforehand. And once that twist happens, it changes the course of the movie and makes everything that we had watched prior feel utterly pointless. And by the time we got to the end of the movie, where we got an even bigger reveal on this twist, I thought, that was really lame. So because of that reveal, and the fact that it pretty much threw away everything that came before, I have to say, watch at your own risk. And I mean that in the most unenthusiastic way imaginable. This is a movie that should have gone straight to Disney+. This should not have been released in theaters at all, especially considering the lack of marketing towards it. Turning Red was more worthy of seeing in a theater than this. If you watch this in any form, whether it's in theaters or on Disney+, you might get some enjoyment, but really, it's just kind of hard to recommend. Especially after Encanto and Raya and the Last Dragon last year, this was a major letdown. And it's interesting to think that Disney has made 3 animated movies this year, whether it's Pixar or Disney Animation. Turning Red, Lightyear, and now this. I like Turning Red myself, but when it comes to both Lightyear and Strange World, both of these movies are just wasted potential. And when I reviewed The Bad Guys earlier this year, that thing I said where DreamWorks might actually be giving Disney a run for their money, I think it's starting to come true. I didn't expect it to happen this quickly, and with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish getting rave reviews, think that might mean the tide's turning in terms of these two companies and their rivalry. So we'll see what happens. But I think things are starting to look up for DreamWorks, whereas Disney is starting to fumble a bit. And there you go, that's my review for Strange World. I hope you enjoyed it. And now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, go check out my Twitch channel, and support me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day, and take care of yourselves.